What's going on, everybody? My name is Phantomatic, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build Honkai Star Rail's 2.4 wins follow-up attack DPS, Feixiao. Beautiful, strong, fast, and an alcoholic, so to be honest, what more could you ask for in a woman? As the general of the Xian Shou Yaoqing, she, along with Jing Yuan, have been blessed with powerful spirits from Lan themselves, and with this power, she's able to single-handedly protect the people of the Yaoqing with her own two hands. As always, here are the materials you'll need to get your Feixiao to level 80. Anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get to building.
Yeah, I know what the fuck is going on, man. Flow so brim, 5'9" prime time, upstate heavy hitter. Ville boys. You don't want no smoke, don't want no jazz, nigga. Got the fully automatic with the extra mag, nigga. Super Mario the way I smash, nigga. I be going hard, Draco, put your shit on blast, nigga. 50,000 in the fucking stash, nigga. Got about 100 hundreds in the fucking dash, nigga. If you a op, then we on your ass, nigga. Bullets chop a nigga down like I'm mowing grass, nigga. What the fuck? If a nigga want a problem, tie him on my billies up. Young blood gang, nigga. What the fuck? Fuck a crip. See a sandwalker, shoot him in his lip. Oh shit.
Concho sake aranda. Concho yoi.
Feixiao's technique, Stormboard, increases her movement speed in the overworld by 50% and also creates a tornado around her that will pull in all enemies for 20 seconds. And once you attack them and enter battle, not only will you gain 1 point of areas, but Feixiao will also deal 200% of her wind damage to all enemies on the field at the start of each wave. And if more than one enemy gets pulled in by her technique, not only is the wind damage guaranteed to crit, but will also increase the damage multiplier of the wind damage by 100% up to maximum of 1000%. Her passive Thunder Hunt allows Feixiao to accumulate areas points to use her ultimate. 6 points is required to use her ultimate, and you can stack up to a maximum of 12 areas points. She gains 1 point of areas every 2 attacks an ally dishes out, and after her teammate attacks, Feixiao will use her follow-up attack against the same enemy, dealing wind damage equal to 96.3% of her attack. If there isn't a specific enemy for Feixiao to follow-up attack, then she will randomly attack an enemy, and when she uses her follow-up attack, her damage is increased by 52.2% for 2 turns. Her skill, War Axe, will deal wind damage equal to 175% of her attack to a single enemy and will immediately launch 1 instance of her follow-up attack to that said enemy. Her ultimate, Terror Split, will deal wind damage equal to 625.5% of her attack to a single target, and during this ultimate, she can ignore the enemy's weakness type to decrease the enemy's toughness. And if the enemy isn't weakness broken, then her weakness break efficiency increases by 100%. During this ultimate, she can either use Bolt Sunder Blitz or War Axe Skyward on the enemy up to 6 times. Bolt Sunder Blitz will deal wind damage equal to 54% of her attack to the enemy, and if the enemy is weakness broken, then her damage multiplier is increased by 26.3%. And War Axe Skyward will deal the same amount of wind damage and will increase her damage multiplier by the same amount, but this time, it's unless the enemy isn't weakness broken. And at the end of the 6 attacks, she will deal wind damage equal to 144% of her attack to the enemy. Her ascensions goes as listed. Ascension 2, Heaven Pat. She gains 3 points of flying areas when the battle starts, and at the start of her turn, if no follow-up attack was activated from her passive in the previous turn, then it'll count as 1 turn in order to activate her passive. Ascension 4, Form Shift. When she uses her ultimate, it counts as a follow-up attack, and her follow-up attack's crit damage increases by 36%. Ascension 6, Bolt Catch. When she uses her skill, her damage increases by 48% for 3 turns.
Concho sake aranda. Concho yoi.
When it comes to which traces you should level up, in order it's going to be Ultimate, Talent, Skill, then Basic Attack. As for the mini traces, I'd recommend going for the attack and crit ones first, then the defense ones.
Concho sake aranda. Concho yoi.
If you're wondering whether or not Feixiao is worth pulling for at E0, then I'd highly recommend putting your wallet back, because Feixiao is honestly really good at E0. However, if you're still willing to pull dupes, then I'd recommend going for either E1 Skyward I Quell or E2 Moonward I Wish, since her E1 will increase the ultimate damage of her Bolt Sunder Blitz and War Axe Skyward by an amount equal to 10% of her original damage that can be stacked up to 5 times, and her E2 will allow the follow-up attacks from her teammates to count as 1 point of flying areas, which can be triggered up to 6 times. However, I wouldn't recommend going for E4, Stormward I Hear, which will increase her toughness reduction of her passive follow-up attack by 100% and will increase her speed by 8% for 2 turns. Not because it's bad, obviously, but because it's just not worth going this deep for. And lastly, her E6, Homeward I Hear, which will increase all type res pen of her ultimate's damage by 20%, and this Eidolon will also count her follow-up attack's damage as ultimate damage and will increase its damage multiplier by 140%, which honestly is pretty good, but sadly it suffers from the E6 curse, so I would highly recommend not pulling for E6.
根性酒あらんだ根性良い
Feixiao's signature 5-star Lightcone, I Venture Forth to Hunt, is her best 5-star option, since it will increase her crit rate by a certain amount, and when she uses her follow-up attack, she'll gain 1 stack of Lumiflux, which can be stacked up to 2 times. And what this does is allow Feixiao's ultimate to ignore a certain amount of the target's defense. Note that 1 stack of the Lumiflux will decrease at the start of Feixiao's turn. The 5-star Lightcone, Baptism of Pure Thought, is her second best option, since it will increase her crit damage by a certain amount, and for every debuff on an enemy, it'll take increased crit damage by a certain amount, which can be stacked up to 3 times. And when you use your ultimate on the enemy, Feixiao will be given the Disputation effect, which increases her damage and will allow her follow-up attack to ignore a certain amount of the enemy's defense. Worrisome Blissful is her third best 5-star option, since it will increase her crit rate and follow-up attack damage by a certain amount, and when she uses her follow-up attack, it will apply the Tame state to the enemy, which can be stacked twice. And what this does is increase the crit damage dealt to the enemy every time you attack it. The 5-star Lightcone, Cruising the Stellar Sea, is Feixiao's last 5-star option, since it'll increase her crit rate by a certain amount and increases her crit rate against enemies with HP 50% or lower by a certain amount, and her attack is increased by a certain amount for 2 turns when she defeats an enemy. The 4-star Lightcone, Final Victor, is her best 4-star option, since it will increase her attack by a certain amount, and when she lands a crit hit on an enemy, she'll gain the Good Fortune stack, and what this does is increase her crit damage by a certain amount. Note that the Good Fortune can be stacked up to 4 times, and the effect will be removed at the end of her turn. The 4-star Lightcone, Return to Darkness, is her second 4-star option, since it'll increase her crit damage, and after each crit hit, there's a chance to dispel 1 buff from the enemy. Swordplay is Feixiao's last 4-star option, since it'll increase her damage dealt to a target if she constantly hits the same target, which can be stacked up to 5 times. Note that the effect will be removed if she switches targets. And the 3-star Lightcone, Darting Arrow, is her only 3-star option.
根性酒あらんだ根性良い
The 4-pieced Wind Soaring Valorous set is going to be Feixiao's best relic set, since it'll increase her attack by 12% with the 2-piece and increase her crit rate by 6%, and increases her ultimate damage dealt to an enemy for 1 turn when she uses her follow-up attack with the 4-piece. The 4-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke set is her second best option, since it will increase her follow-up attack damage by 20% with the 2-piece and will increase her attack by 6% every time her follow-up attack deals damage, which can be stacked up to 8 times with the 4-piece. However, you can use the 2-piece Ash Blazing set and 2-piece Eagle of Twilight line set, which will increase her follow-up attack damage by 20% and will increase her wind damage by 10%. As for the Planar sets, Duran Dynasty of Running Wolves is her best option, since it'll allow Feixiao to gain stacks of merit whenever her allies use follow-up attacks. And what merit does is increase Feixiao's follow-up attack by 5%, and when she reaches the max stack of 5 merits, then her crit damage is increased by 25%. Izumo Gensei and Takama Divine Realm is her second best Planar set, since it'll increase her attack by 12%, and if one other ally follows the same path as Feixiao, then her crit rate is increased by 12%. And Inert Salsodo is going to be her last Planar option, since it'll increase her crit rate by 8%, and when her current crit rate reaches 50% or higher, Feixiao's ultimate and follow-up attack damage is increased by 5%. As for the main stats on your relics, you're going to want crit rate or crit damage on your body, and for your feet, you'd want either attack percent or speed on them. And for your spear, you'd want wind damage or attack percent and attack percent on your rope. As for substats, you'd want speed, crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent.
根性酒あらんだ根性良い
When it comes to follow-up attack teams, Feixiao's meta team that consists of Feixiao, Aventurine, Robin, and Topaz is your best option. However, you can use her free-to-play team, which consists of Feixiao, Hunt March 7th, Asta, and Gallagher. There's also Feixiao, Matza, Robin, and Aventurine. And lastly, Feixiao, Topaz, Bronya, War Sparkle, and Aventurine. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope this video was of some use to you all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next Honkai Story Reel video. Signing off.